Hi, Bernina Jeff here again. Another tip on your 7 series, your 5 series, and most of your 4 series Bernina sewing machines. You will be sewing along, and after you've had your machine for a few months, a notice might come up and says, clean your thread catcher. And you're going, what the heck is a thread catcher? It is a device that works every time you use your cutter button. There's several layers of metals that go together, little plates of metal that hold the thread while it drags it across a knife, cuts it, and then grabs it, and especially the bobbin thread, and makes it ready for your next stitch. So all this happens below your needle plate, and below your needle plate a lot of lint and debris accumulates. So every time you use your cutter button, the machine counts one count for a cycle of your cutter. And after it gets to a certain number, your machine will display, please clean your thread catcher. And if you do not go through the whole routine, it'll continue saying that until you actually reset it. I've had customers come in saying they can't bypass this after a certain amount of time, so I show them how to clean their cutter. So that is what I'm going to show you today. First, we have to prepare the machine for the thread cutter cleaning. Right after I show you how to see how many cycles your machine has made. We're going to go into our settings button, which is these two little gears, a large gear and a small gear. We're going to the menu of our sewing machine icon, and within that menu we're going to go to our information. This little circle I, this tells us information about the machine. We touch that and we have options here. We're going to go to V10. That tells us our version of the machine, but what I'm interested in is number of cycles since cleaning. So this cutter button has been hit 60 times since it was cleaned last, and we went through the routine to reset it. It also tells us the total number of stitches and total number of stitches since last maintained. These are permanent in the machine on the stitches. They can never be totally erased. So if you ever buy a used machine, go into this feature, you can see how many stitches it has. So I'm going to back out. I'm going to use my cookie trail, a breadcrumb trail up here, touch the sewing machine, and go to the wrench. Inside the wrench has our cleaning feature, oiling feature. So I'm going to go to the little broom, little dust behind it. That's our cleaning of the thread catcher feature. We touch that. And now this will explain everything we need to do. So the thread catcher needs to be cleaned frequently. We're going to remove the presser foot. We're going to remove the needle. You need to use your tool to remove the needle. And sometimes it's easier. My hands are large, so we have this little, Bernina has this little thread grabber, or a needle grabber. You put that on the needle, and then it will hold the needle in place. You won't lose it. It's easier to put back in. Now it says lower the feed dog and remove the stitch plate. So we push back. I like to remove the stitch plate by putting 2 fingers on the target or the concentric circles there. Put 1 finger there and push. And then take your fingernail and pull up and towards you. If you push back, this plate will get caught underneath that little lip there, and it's hard to get out. So kind of lift up towards you. Put that off to the side. So in here is where we need to clean any lint and items out. But unless we go through the routine, the machine does not know we've cleaned it out. So we're going to go to step 2. It says select the link. This little blue line, the little blue, it says move the thread catcher out with a line underneath it. You have to touch it till it blinks and makes a beep. So you have to touch it, and if you touch it, you can hear a beep and a little flash will come up. So now it says touch the automatic thread cutter. So we will go to the thread cutter button on the head of the machine with indicated by the scissors. We touch that and this will slide out. So that slides out to the right. After it slides, the thread catcher is moved to the right. Remove the lint by using a pair of tweezers. So as lint is accumulating in here, that piece of thread is attached to the bobbin, so leave that alone. And if there's extra pieces of thread or lint, I actually will gently, and I stress the word gently, brush out the lint. There are little springs and such in here that you can dislodge, and then your thread cutter will not work, or grabber won't work. The Bernina brushes have a little bit of static to them, so they'll actually pick up the lint and keep it in there. One thing you never want to do is blow into that or use canned air. Canned air is not to be used on any Bernina sewing machine. It just blows any debris all the way up inside. I have taken machines apart, and the gears that are supposed to be teeth have become discs because they've compacted so tight with all that lint that they blow inside the machine. So you want to get that lint and debris out of the machine. Now we've cleaned it out, we need to go to step 3. Step 3 is move the thread catcher in. So you have to select that link again. See how hard it is to catch it just right? And it beeps. And now we push the thread cutter button and everything moves back to the left. And sometimes you see more lint in there, so gently brush the lint upward and get that out of there. Now we can reattach the machine. I'm going to show you a trick for the putting the plate on. So we're going to put the plate on. I like to bring the plate in from the right hand side at a little bit of an angle, line it up on the 2 pegs on the left hand side, hold it with my left index finger right in the middle, and snap it down. That lines it up and puts it in nice and easy without fiddling. You don't want to force it, you'll break the little clips off the bottom. You'll need to go to see your dealer. And now that needle's still in our grabber, the flats to the back, goes right in there. And again, I don't white knuckle the needle screw. If you over tighten that needle screw, you have a chance of breaking off the head or breaking off the tip, and then that's a big repair. And raise your feed dogs. And a lot of times, if the feed dogs aren't in the perfect position, they won't come up until the first rotation of your machine. So don't worry. If your feed dogs do not pop right up when you raise them, don't worry, the first stitch they will. And then put your presser foot back on, and you have reset your machine. And we're going to go through the settings and show you that now that machine is going to be at 0 cut cycles. So we went back to our breadcrumb trail to the machine. We're going to our information circle, and now look, total number of cycles since cleaning, and that is 0. The stitch count or anything will not change because that, like I said, that's permanent. And next time you get your warning to clean your thread catcher, you know exactly what to do. You can do this before you get the warning, especially if you've just done a flannel quilt or something of that sort. Any lint and extra things down there do need to be cleaned out. Also, while I'm at it, I will oil it with my famous oiler. You don't even need to take the needle off for this. Take the plate off. See how that can get stuck behind there? And we're going to look straight down at below the tip of the needle, and there's a very shiny hook tip there. I put a drip of oil there every time I start sewing. And then the machine sounds like a Bernina. Thank you very much. Remember to hit subscribe and like, and so I can keep these going and helping sewers out. Thanks.